Welcome to PowerWF Studio's 15 Minutes of SCA Fame. This video provides a brief introduction to authoring Operations Manager management packs using a combination of PowerWF Studio's drag-and-drop interface and a more traditional PowerShell script editor. This video shows how little effort is required to create a fully customizable cross-vendor management pack and monitoring agent using PowerWF Studio. Management packs for third-party and legacy systems require no more effort than this. Additional information and links to more videos are available at powerwf.com.
Oh, hey Jim. What's up?
Hey Ben. Just calling to check on the Ops Manager install, wondering how that's going.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got Ops Manager installed, and I've got it monitoring all the Microsoft apps. So we're monitoring our Hyper-V installation, our Active Directory, Exchange Server, SQL, stuff like that. Those were all no problem, no-brainers. I also found some management packs for the big apps like Oracle, PeopleSoft. No problems at all for any of that stuff. So it's doing a great job monitoring.
All right. What about the custom apps and the smaller third-party vendors? Oh, and we also talked the other day about doing some cross-vendor monitoring.
Well, I didn't find any management packs for any of those. I think we're going to have to get those written for us.
Well, written for us? No, we've had this conversation before. I cannot afford to bring in a consultant to write management packs for you.
Oh, man, but it's so time-consuming to write these management packs.
Well, I don't know that it is, because I knew you were going to go there, so I did a little searching on the internet the other day, found a company called PowerWF. They just walked through a wizard, click, 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 and they were creating management packs in just a couple minutes.
No way. I'll check that out.
All right, cool. Well, I'll let you get back at it.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's look at a real-world example using PowerWF. Let's start by creating a new workflow that will monitor all of the printers in our environment regardless of their vendor. I'm going to start by opening up the PowerShell editor and doing a quick search of the PowerShell community to look for samples related to printers. PowerWF will look at both PoshCode and TechNet for all of the examples available. There's a script that looks like it does what I want, so we'll go ahead and try that one out. I see a few things right away that I can delete, so I'm going to go ahead and modify the script a little bit, set it for my print server, and then I'll go ahead and run the script one time. PowerWF's full-featured PowerShell editor can be used to modify and test the script until it returns exactly the data we are looking for. The script editor includes an embedded PowerShell host and automatic data visualization, as well as features like IntelliSense and integrated help.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Well, all right. Let's update the workflow with the script and close our editor and take a look at our workflow. Well, look at that. Our 3 PowerShell commands got turned into 3 workflow activities and are right there on the canvas for us to modify. Let's drag and drop a data grid onto the canvas right after those 3 PowerShell commands, and let's run this workflow. There goes the PowerShell script. And there's our data. It's the same data that we saw in the PowerShell editor. Alright, so now I'll disable the data grid activity because it's not the data grid where I want to send the data to, but to Ops Manager. And I'm going to have to find the Ops Manager activity similar to the data grid here in the toolbox. I'll look under System Center. And there's a ToScum activity. I'll just drag and drop that down where the data grid was. And there's a red validation error there telling me that I need to go fill something out. And I can see in the property grid that we're missing a primary key. I'll select the printer name as the primary key. And now, let's run the script again. This time, when the script executes, the ToScum activity is going to take the data that came out of the script and push it into WMI. To verify that the data is what is in WMI, let's right-click on the ToScum activity and say Inspect Data. This is a standard WMI query tool. You can use any WMI query tool to go look at this data and verify that it's in WMI. WMI will be our data bus for getting this data from the workflow into Ops Manager. All right, we're done with the data grid activity. I'll just delete that out of the workflow entirely. Now let's go to our deploy menu and we'll choose Operations Manager. And this will launch the Operations Manager wizard. I'll hit next. I'm going to specify the remote SCOM server where we want to deploy this management pack. I'll hit next again.
The wizard asks us to verify the properties that will be included in the class definition. Take the time to remove any volatile properties. Next, the wizard asks us to verify the properties that were chosen to be performance counters. By default, all numeric class properties will be pre-selected. Penultimately, the wizard presents us with the option to set threshold rules. Operations Manager will use these rules to determine the health of each printer. Let's have the printer availability changed to the warning state when the printer's error state is greater than 0. The only thing left to do now is tell our agent how often to run the workflow and tell Ops Manager how often to run the rules we've defined. Let's set this workflow timer to 15 minutes.
All right, now let's switch over to our Ops Manager server. Now, we've gone through the wizard, and part of that wizard remote deployment was to programmatically install the manager pack that it created into the server. And if we refresh the tree view, you'll see there's a new view that pops up. And we can go click on that view and take a look what's inside. Now we're just waiting for Ops Manager to run the discovery rule that was defined by the management pack that was created by PowerWF. And let's flip back over while we're waiting for that discovery rule to run, and we can inspect the data again to make sure that there is data in WMI, and sure enough there is. And let's also make sure that this workflow is running in the agent. There is a built-in agent that comes with PowerWF. You can use your own agent or use our agent, but we'll just make sure that the task we deployed is running, and it appears to be running in the agent. Let's go back to our Ops Manager server and see if the data is here yet. I'll just hit F5 to refresh. And there are my printers. Now it hasn't run the threshold rules yet, so we don't know what the current state is, but we can see all the printers.
I can look at all of the data that was collected for each one of these printers. All of the data is displayed here in Operations Manager. So I can click from printer to printer and see the specific data.
All right, so here's what's really cool about what we're looking at here, what we're surfing through here, is that these printers all come from different vendors. We didn't download a management pack from HP or Canon or any single vendor, but we created a management pack on the fly in just a couple of minutes that was cross-platform, that worked on multi-vendors. And now you see our threshold rules have run. We have a health state for each of these printers as well. So we've got a green light, yellow light, red light, depending on what the health of these is. And remember in the wizard we did define one health rule, which is if that error code is greater than 0, we should go to yellow. And there is a printer which is currently in error status. And we can expand the location of this printer, which tells where the printer is physically. And now Gemini can go look at the printer and try to fix it. All right, we fixed the printer jam. Let's see if Ops Manager discovers, yep, there it goes, back to green. So it did exactly what we wanted to do.
In this example, we use PowerShell to extract data from multiple devices from multiple hardware vendors. We customized the data to meet our needs, deployed the script to a remote Ops Manager server using a simple drag-and-drop interface and a 5-step wizard, defining our class, performance counters, threshold rules, and timer along the way. Within minutes, Ops Manager was able to monitor and manage those new objects. Visit PowerWF.com for more information and to download a 30-day evaluation.